Marathon gameplay has finally been revealed to the world, along with a ton of information about this new first-person shooter from Bungie. That studio carries a lot of anticipation, expectation, and weight. Bungie, of course, are most famous for developing the iconic Halo franchise before handing it off to 343 Industries in 2012 following their completion of Halo Reach. Bungie then went on to make Destiny and Destiny 2. The original Marathon game, though, released in 1994, again made by Bungie but for the Apple Macintosh, and that game took place centuries into the future in outer space, with the player attempting to stop an alien invasion aboard a colony ship named the Marathon. It actually had some decent plot and story for the time too, interestingly featuring a multiplayer deathmatch mode as well. Skip to 2025 and here we are with a new Marathon game. They are bringing it back from the dead, this time as a team-based extraction shooter set in a world called Tau Ceti 4. In the game you play as runners, cybernetic mercenaries who've given up their human form for a biosynthetic shell with unique abilities and stats with tactical and fast-paced combat. You'll queue into a match with a crew of up to 3 players across a variety of zones and points of interest. In total, there will be 18 players in the lobby, and a bunch of AI to fight too, PvPvE. The AI will be countless security forces and otherworldly threats. I imagine that we might end up seeing some pretty big monsters and boss fights scattered in here, knowing Bungie. When you're in a match, your goal is to scavenge the remains of a lost colony for glory and fortune. The levels are filled with various weapons, materials, and equipment to be looted. Before deployment though, you'll build a loadout and select a runner to ensure that you're equipped for the run ahead. And yeah, you guessed it, the objective is to get in, gather loot and make it out alive. Die and all your gear is up for grabs. Other players can nick it and you'll lose it. I presume there will be some kind of Tarkov style safe box / gamma container with limited space that you can take in though if you find something you really want to hold on to. And then if you survive and extract the loot via an exfil mechanic, that loot can then be taken into future runs with you as you grow in power and fill your vault. So there is a big element of metagame here too. If you completely run out of loot and feel like there's no coming back though, you can get a faction to sponsor you with a fresh loadout so you can get back into the fight. Bungie say that they're bringing their A-game here with the moment-to-moment gameplay, claiming the gunplay is dynamic and tactile. The emphasis is said to be on strategic plays. Looking at the footage they've released, the time to kill appears to be very fast, especially when no armor is equipped. Players will have the ability to employ unique playstyles and customizable builds, creating dynamic and strategic teamfights. They made a point in the trailer too to say that no matter how geared you are, skill and strategy will always have the edge. I presume that's because a lot of the guns, perhaps even the basic pistols, can do big damage with headshots, for example. And Marathon is designed to be played in crews with shared objectives, contextual pings, and down but not out states to streamline the idea of playing with friends. If you're the last one standing on your crew, you can revive teammates. In the trailer, it kind of reminded me of the DMZ revive state where if a player is in a down state, then you can revive them pretty quick, they'll be up on their feet. But if they've been finished off, you can still revive them, but it takes much longer, and I would assume that there'll be a limit to how many times that they can be fully revived from the dead, but I'm not entirely sure on that one. If you don't have anyone else to roll with, you can matchmake and fill your party, or you can play solo if you want to test your skills. We did see a clip of 2 players running side by side, so I guess that duos will be an option. It's very popular if you've got just one other person that you play with regularly. No 2 runs will ever play out the same. The game features dynamic events. I guess these could be related to bosses spawning in or rare loot appearing on the map. I would love to see some Destiny style bosses pop up during a round, especially in an extraction game where your life is the most important thing. Could be quite heart pounding. We've got variable weather here too. We see fog, wind and rain, perhaps snow at some point. Each run that you join has a time limit where anything can happen. It didn't say what the time limit was, but I'd guess around 20 to 30 minutes or so. It looks like there will be many quests in the game, as they did talk about unlocking upgrades to increase faction rep, think Tarkov style vendors and traders. They also detailed some of the runners that you can play as. One of them is called Void, who has sneaky stealth abilities. If you wanted to go solo, for example, it might be a good choice, as you could quietly join a game. Maybe you're just going with a knife or a pistol. You then search for rare materials and profit opportunities without being discovered. And it looked like Void had a temporary cloak ability. If you wanted to attack and go on the offensive, you could play as Glitch, pushing enemy teams and stealing loot. They demoed an example playing as Glitch with strong weapons and an agility implant. Your implants perhaps impact your abilities in that case. If you're running support for your friends, I think one of them is called Locus, and you can grab extra equipment with this guy, shield charges and a specialized backpack to be a lifeline that your squad mates might need. You're also free to experiment with team composition. It looks like multiple people in your squad can be the same runner, so I imagine that there will be some meta squads forming pretty quickly. In terms of live service content, Bungie revealed endgame challenges, ranked play, secrets, mysteries, seasonal storytelling, community events, and more in Season 1. The game will be running a closed alpha test starting soon. I think it's going to be under NDA though, but you can sign up for it. It is set to release on Steam on PC, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S with full crossplay and cross-save on September 23rd of this year. That's sooner than I expected. I did also check this just to be sure because I know a lot of you guys will ask this. As you may know, Bungie is now a Sony PlayStation owned studio, and they told us that PC and Xbox players won't need to sign up for a PSN account to play. That's a good sign for a lot of PC players for sure. I'd bet they don't want a repeat of the Helldivers debacle, if you remember that. That did not go down well at all. The only other bit of official information I could find was that there will be multiple maps. In the press release, they said that if players are brave enough, they can take a journey up to the derelict Marathon ship that hangs above. So it looks like Marathon will actually be a fully playable area in the game. Pretty cool. I imagine that's going to be quite spooky. And the way that they've said that could be a high level gear area. Think something like going to labs in Escape from Tarkov. One thing that I didn't see is it going to be free to play or not? I feel like if it was going to be free to play, they would have said it. That's a big deal. So I'm guessing it will be a premium product, maybe 40, 50 bucks, that kind of range. And then they'll have live service, battle pass, microtransactions. Lots of assumptions there, but I feel like that's the logical conclusion here. So that's the official information about the game and what we can take out from the gameplay trailer. Now, I did see a couple weeks ago, there were some press and content creators, media that played a version of Marathon, and I think they were allowed to capture. So if you want some actual first impressions hands-on with unique gameplay, there's going to be plenty of that out there from other content creators. So there are options there for you if you want to learn more about the game, and from somebody who's played a recent build of it. I'm sure that will be all over YouTube by now. I digress. So we were having a conversation on stream about this a couple days ago. The idea that we think no developer has managed to make the quote-unquote perfect extraction game yet. Tarkov clearly has had the lead up until now. It has the gun modification, the meta game, the blood pumping firefights, the hook authenticity, but the hype has definitely died off in the last 2 years or so. It's also got awful performance, bad anti-cheat, no onboarding, lots of balance issues, and it's not on console. For me, Hunt Showdown is the extraction game that I play the most because it gives me that nice balance of fighting players, fighting interesting AI characters and bosses, great audio, and it's in a unique setting, but it also suffers with some issues like bad user interface, lack of regular updates, it doesn't have a robust metagame, base building element like Tarkov does. It's not perfect, and then there's others like Delta Force, Arena Breakout, even COD had a crack at it with DMZ. They've all been a bit flash in the pan. So Bungie do have a huge opportunity here, especially with the console market, to throw some of that Sony AAA money at the development of an extraction first-person shooter and attempt to bring it all together into a satisfying package. I've no doubt that the final product will have incredible gunplay, movement, world design and performance. However, I do think that having these unique runners with abilities might hurt the game in certain respects. There's a big extraction first-person shooter audience out there who will see that and immediately go, oh no, it's a hero shooter then. Sad trombone noise. Even if it's primarily an extraction game where you can swap some of these abilities out, build your runner differently, it appears like this game still has unique characters with skills, roles, looks. I guess they'll add new runners over the live service, and the hero shooter genre has such a stigma now. It just feels so done, and there have been a lot of flops in that genre. I feel like there's a big part of the extraction game audience who won't like that in terms of the gameplay, but I also think the reason that Tarkov has success in that department is because players can just build their soldier, their grunt if you will, kit it out how they like and go in. The gunplay, your tactics and grenades, drive the combat. It's more predictable. You don't have to think about people having abilities, and it feels more grounded and relatable that way. I think that type of combat loop is what the majority of extraction players like. They don't like the idea of fighting clones of themselves or clones of their teams, all using the same or similar abilities. Also, the art style in this game is definitely going to be quite divisive. It's certainly a bold choice, but I do feel like a lot of gamers have preconceived notions about games that look like this, and they will be immediately turned off by them. And some of the character designs that we've seen in the trailers and gameplay do seem typical for the average hero shooter. On the flip side to this, it really depends what audience Bungie is going for here, because there is a massive player base out there who quite like games with heroes in. You can do games with heroes well if you want to. Look at Marvel Rivals, new release, heroes, 6v6. That's pretty much as hero shooter as you can get. Big audience. It's fun. I've played it for a bit. Would it be as successful as it has been without the Marvel IP? Absolutely not. But I think the gameplay's good. For me, I'll dip in and out every now and again, but it's not something that I'm playing regularly. Because I've played so many games like that before, the gameplay just gets old fast. Apex Legends, Respawn took Battle Royale and added heroes to it. Actually really fun in the first couple of years. I enjoyed it a lot, and people get attached to those characters and their stories. I am kind of done with Apex now though. I think it's got bloated and crazy, too many characters and abilities for me to keep track of. It's too unpredictable and I've not played it in ages. I'm waiting to see what they do next. Apex 2, if you will, change things up a bit. I'm waffling now, but hopefully you see what I'm getting at. There's an opportunity, I think, to mix the genres and make something that feels new with Marathon. But overall, I don't feel like heroes with abilities are well suited to extraction type games. Will there be enough conviction in the game design to make it interesting enough? We'll see. I don't want to judge it until I've played a new version of it. And of course, as soon as I can record, stream, make videos, etc., I'll be there. As I mentioned though, there will be videos out there now with gameplay from this capture event, and people who've played it recently, recorded, they can give you a much better understanding of what the game's like and how it feels. Is it good, bad, everything in between. So go out there, look on YouTube if you're interested. Plenty of other content out there. With that said, guys, thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Subscribe if you're new here. Drop me a like if you enjoyed the video, a dislike if you didn't, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.